Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of My Life. Now today we are doing something new, something different. We are talking for a very long time in front of a camera. Something I've never done before. This is my first time. Anyway, thank you for coming to the podcast. Thank you for being here. Sorry for the lack of uploads in general during this week. I haven't been able to stream normally just because I've been very busy. Work has picked up. As it always has. There's been a lot. I'm backlogged on a lot of things. I'm still looking to hire additional help, which I need in so many ways. Mentally, emotionally, I need somebody to fix my life. Actually, this is what today's episode is going to be about. Today's episode is about setting goals. Goals for you, goals for me, goals for everyone around us. Because look, as I said in previous episodes, For if you're new here, I suffered from depression for a number of years now. Like, I think I was first diagnosed when I was like 18, and then I kind of been able to kind of work on things. And that's the thing too, because I did make during like another video I said I was probably going to go to therapy at some point because I felt like I kind of needed to kind of talk things out. But before I get into that. Hello, Image Drawn. Hey, Andrew. Hey, how are you? Yeah, so I was talking about it before on earlier episode. I probably need to go back to therapy because you kind of know when you need to like have help because things can't always just be you and yourself. And I'm someone who is very not only self-aware, but also just like I self-service myself. You know, I just kind of like self-soothe. But sometimes you do have to reach out when you're feeling certain type of way, or it's like, you know, that you've taken on too much than you can actually provide. And you bit more than you can chew. So you really have to kind of like reach out for help, you know? The problem with that, and the reason why I'm never in with a therapist for too long is because I'm very self-aware of shit. And then I'm able to kind of like I'm very self-aware, but I also like to study a lot. So I also like to look up things, and I always like to like read things out. I read a bunch of philosophy and psychology, kind of relating to the subject I'm going through. And then it kind of helps me gain clarity, and I learn what I need to do, what happens, how I should go about things. And then I kind of fix my issue. And then I go to a therapist and like, oh, okay, this is the backstory. This is what's happening. And it's like, I need to do this. And they're just like, yes. And I'm like, okay. And then we just end up shooting the shit for like 20 minutes. And then they're just like, you know, you don't really have to be here. So just come back when you have an issue. I'm like, okay. That's happened to every therapist. I've only like really been to like the therapist like 3 times in the past 12 years. And it usually lasts for like maybe like 2 months at most, and that's like, you know, weekly sessions, and that's usually what happens. And then I get fired, and I'm like, all right, well, it happens. Like I said, everyone should go to therapy. Not everyone needs a therapist, and you know when you need a therapist. So yeah, I know I made a whole shtick about like talking to somebody before, but I kind of like was able to solve a lot of my own shit, which is good. But now with that, I kind of know where I need to do and what's the next steps in my life need to be. So, with my depression, what helps me move forward is kind of setting goals, because goals kind of give me a purpose into like what I need to do with my life, how to go about things, where is my life leading to, how I should treat myself, how I should treat others. Because sometimes if you live your life without goals, or you have no goal in mind, you're just kind of you're kind of floating. At least for me, this is how I feel. Like I'm just laying on my back, watching the waves drift me to shore. I have no control. I could do something, but I don't want to. I'm lazy. I just want to float there. I want the waves to take me in, and I'm just like, I'm not that girl. Like when there is something I know that is an issue, or something that I want to work on, or something I want in life, I go for it. I have to go for it, because if I don't, then what's the point? You know, I'm not really making any progress in my life. I'm not really doing anything. And I'm someone who I need personal growth. I need to feel like I'm growing. I need to feel like I'm doing something. I need to feel like I'm actually making an impact on my own life. And I can't really depend on others to do that for me. Yes, it's important. And that's one of the things I'm working on as well, too, to let more people in and let more people kind of be able to help me when they can. But at the same time, I can't always just rely on others. And I think there is a spectrum to that. Like there are people who are just like, oh my God, I'm going through this thing, but it's fine. Daddy will take care of me. Daddy will support me like he always does. Daddy's gonna carry me in his big, strong arms and just take me to where I need to be. Oh, Daddy's gonna make the choices for me. Ooh, do I want a number 3 or do I want a Dave's double? I don't know. Daddy, please choose. Choose what kind of buns do I want, Daddy? Please choose my buns, Daddy. And I'm like, I'm not that person, but I'm also hyper independent. And that is something that develops sometimes with people if they come from narcissistic environments, if they come from traumatic childhoods where they feel like they have to grow up fast, and they take on more of a role of an adult sooner than expected. They end up becoming very hyper independent because they feel like they have no one to kind of lean on or support them or relate to. And that's how I felt like my entire childhood, because again, child of a narcissist, and I'm still unlearning a lot of shit because of it. So I try to really kind of do everything myself because I don't want to put anyone else through any burden. And my thing is, I always try to have people, I try to entertain, I try to like make the most out of any situation because I want to be able to help everybody and not have them ever feel like how I felt, because that's just like I've been at low points. I felt alone. I felt isolated. I felt like no one understood me. So I do the most to kind of help other people not feel like that. But sometimes I do that too much. And then I just like, don't make time for myself. I'm like, well, if I'm not treating myself right, who the fuck's going to treat me right? Like, because again, I believe in like, maybe like people call this the law of attraction, right? You put it into the universe will bring it back to you. The energy you put out, the universe just absorbs that and just puts it back in there. But I look at it more like a psychological standpoint, where just like it's the type of mentality that you have. So if you have an output or a perspective in a specific way, you will notice things that have a similar mindset or perspective that you do, and then you guys kind of are drawn to each other. So that's why I really feel like if you're looking for an ideal partner, if you're looking for like someone to be with, if you're looking for like that partner that you can have longevity with and be with, you kind of have to be that person in order to kind of notice that person around you. And then you guys will be drawn and attracted to each other because you guys actually are aware of each other at that point. So that's another thing as well too. So again, there's like hyper independence, which is where I normally am, and then there is these daddy take care of me, and it's a healthy point is the middle. You want to be able to rely on others while also being able to do things for yourself. You have to have the mix of the two. Just know when to lean one way and when to lean the other way. So I'm trying to set a couple of goals because from my last video, a couple of videos ago, when I was being a sad girl, I was just like, my life is so hard, and I'm just trying to make survive, and then you don't understand. You don't understand because I just put everyone else first, and I don't make time for me. And also, I'm just so triggered. I'm triggered by this last relationship, and it's just like I just need to not. And I'm like, we're past that. We're good. In terms of like the relationship, I'm good with. Like we are good. I just miss the person, and that's it. I'm fine with everything else. I just miss them, and that's normal. But everything else I still got to fucking work on. So we're gonna do that. So setting goals. Why is it important is because it kind of gives like a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose. And a lot of people, actually every person, in some way, shape, or form, they're always looking for a reason of being, a reason for why they exist, a reason why you do what you do. Why do you wake up in the morning? What's the point of going to work? What's the point of any of this shit? We are just thrown into this world and told to figure it out. And you're like, well, I guess I gotta, because like no one else is gonna do it for you. And we just all are unique people, unique individuals with unique stories and aspirations. And it's really something that's awesome when you really think about it, just like how many different people there are in the world and how many different impacts each person has on different individuals' lives. Like when you think of it like that and they think everything in like a domino effect perspective, it's like, it's really beautiful. Just because every person does make a difference in some way, shape, or form to someone, even if it doesn't directly impact you. It's really cool. There is a philosopher who kind of covers that a little bit, but I didn't take notes. I forgot. but he's out there. You philosopher man, I agree. Um, but yeah, everyone's kind of looking for a sense of purpose. Like I work at a corporate job, full time, which I'll get into later, but I do all that shit, and a reason why people stay, they're like, "Oh yeah, I love this company. I've been here for 10 years." Like, "Oh yes, me and Susan have been here for 7. It's lovely. I love the people. I love the environment. It's a great place to be." And every time I work anywhere, like whether for a contract or just for a full-time position or what have you, when I hear that, when people are just so hyped about just like working somewhere for years and being there for years, and it's just like that's like a selling point, just like, "Oh yeah, this place is great because I've been here for so long." My question becomes, why? Why are you here for that long? I can't. This long? You've been here for this long? That's crazy. That's crazy because I could not. I could not. But the reason is a lot of people stay at positions they are or places they are because of like where they are in their life and what works best for them. So like if they work at this place that they live close to, their family's close to, it's a central point for everything. So it's like, not a long commute. Their family is right there. The pay is good. They like the people. Why wouldn't you want to work there for a long time? Like, why wouldn't that be a place that you want to be? Because like, if all your needs and wants are there, then why would you go anywhere else? And also, when it comes to that, just why wouldn't you want to be there if you're trying to provide for your family or trying to provide for something? Like a lot of people stay at jobs just to afford to be able to live, afford their lifestyle, to afford like what they want to do, to afford their goals, their dreams, their aspirations, which is more or less the reason why I try to rack up money as much as I can. Because that's like, if there's an opportunity, I'm just like, I'm gonna take it. Because like I'm like a squirrel. I'm gonna save that shit up. So like when I want to actually do the things I want to do, I can afford to do those things without any worry whatsoever. My problem is I just don't know when to stop collecting. So I'm just like overworking myself to the point of death and be like, I could finally afford to take that painting class. Ugh. I'm like 84. I'm on my deathbed. We hanging in there by threads. And yeah, so if they have a goal for what brings them to that job, what brings them to that position, what brings them to that area to like actually live in, then yeah, it makes sense for you to be there. Because like if everything aligns with your goals, then this is how you afford to keep living. This is how you afford to be how you can actually have those goals flourish. It helps provide. Before I get into any deeper, I want to say for these comments, William69, life is what you make it. It reminds yourself you're the best and you deserve the best. Absolutely, 100% agree. I will get deeper into that later. William69, Andrew, get therapy is the greatest advice. I learned that if it doesn't affect you 10 years from now, don't worry about it. Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting to. That's the thing about like reading comments. I'll like do this whole rant. So we'll talk about something. And it's just like, oh yeah, right. I talked about that. Morena, hi. Hey, hello. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. Right. So when it comes to like me and like where I kind of see myself right now, I don't necessarily like, I'm at this position again, just to like save money and everything, because like after that, I'm out. But one of the things I talked about in my video when I was, a bit sad, was that I have a tendency of overworking and overwhelming myself to the point where like, I don't have time to think about anything else. I don't have time to, really think about my life, my goals, like what I actually want, because I'm just doing, and what I'm doing is usually for the sake of other people, but not myself. And then it's just like, well, then what's the point of any of this shit? What's the point of Andrew? Andrew loves Andrew, but Andrew's not treating Andrew right. The fuck is up with that? So that's one of the things I'm kind of working on the most right now, is kind of just like doing what is best for me, Andrew Masonette, as a specifically, because I love me and I really deserve to be treated better than how I've been treating me, because I end up putting everyone else first and then I neglect myself. So like, again, like the reason why I live in this apartment, like the actual reason why I live in this shitty ghetto apartment, one, it's so cheap. Someone died in here because like I think I talked about this before. Like I moved in, I'm just like, okay. And they were like, oh, we're going to give you $200 off a month. I'm like, Bitchin', sign me up. $1,000 for a 300 square foot apartment. I'll take it. This close to the city, this close to a train. I'm like, oh, ma. Oh, I'm gonna be a city girl traveling to the city every day around the rails. Oh, watching the scenery drive by. Can't wait to show mama. Mama, I'm living my dream. And then I just noticed some things. I'm just like, okay, this the bathroom door is kind of knocked in and banged in. That's weird. There's some like brown smudges on the door, odd. And then the tile, the floor tile right under the door was cracked. I'm like, this is odd. This is odd, but okay, whatever. That's fine. And then I put 2 and 5 together, made 17. I realized, like, okay, something shit happened here. Because just like, why is the door banged up? That brown smudges, I was like cleaning the door because I thought it was part of the door, but I was like cleaning it. And I'm just like, this is blood. Somebody got their head banged in. And then something happened. And now they're giving me $200 off a month. And I honestly, to that, I say, RIP girl, but like, thank you. Cause like, woo! But no, besides that, like the reason why I live in this apartment, and I do know I deserve a better place, a bigger place. I can afford a bigger place. I'm just cheap. Is that I moved here originally because it was a midway point between my family, the city, but also to try to reconnect with my second ex-boyfriend, if you remember from the episodes D, just because he was moving back because we separated because long distance, allegedly. And then he moved back. So I'm like, okay, let me move a little closer to him so we can kind of reconnect because we were kind of far out from each other. So I'm like, okay, at least he'll be like right there. And that was really the key selling point as to why I live here specifically. And I know I deserve more. And we ended up ending things, and like we're like cool, but we're not like, whatever. So we end up ending things, and that was like 4 years ago. So like my last decisions, I've been here for 4 years because of a decision I made for someone else. And then this job I just accepted, this full-time position, I didn't need it. I really didn't. I had things coming in, I had client work coming in, I was good, financially stable, whatever. But I took this because I was just getting out of my relationship with E, and I just kind of needed a reason to kind of be here, a reason to kind of stay here, and a reason to like exist in this area. Again, I'm in this area just to be with my niece. But like I really just needed something a little bit more to like really establish like, okay, you're here, so you might as well give yourself a reason to be here for a bit. And the job's fine, but just like, it's overwhelming. I'm like, I don't need this shit. Y'all want me to drive an hour away, to drive an hour back, and every day to work on a computer alone? You're insane. Absolutely not. I'm just like, no. So not what I'm doing. I was like, I'm saving up money and I'm out. But yeah, it's just that I've done a lot of my big decisions in life based on what is best for other people or what can work for other people, or as a result of another person, rather than what is best for me and what works for me and what I actually want to do. So why people do what they do is because it helps give them a reason for existing. I'm reading my own writing. I can't fucking read. I swear, don't have ADHD. Once you do, you can't fucking read. You can't fucking speak. It's annoying. So what are some of my own personal goals? So I want to take a step back from just overwhelming myself with so much shit. That's mostly what I want to do. Because like I've been doing it for like 32 years. I've been so focused on just like, because again, I was raised to be a people pleaser. I was raised by a narcissist. And I was basically raised to never say no, always say yes. And just like, yes isn't an option. If I tell you to do something, you have to fucking do it. I'm just like, oh, wow, I'm 7, but okay. So like that was basically how my life always was, and then that followed into my adulthood, and I've been unlearning so much shit more and more throughout the years. But like there is still some residual shit to that. You can't unlearn everything and be like perfectly okay all the time. So I've been unlearning a lot of that, and I really want to just take a step back and just like focusing so much on other people, because my life is so tangled into the lives of everyone else, and a lot of people are dependent on me now, that it's preventing me from actually moving forward and growing. Because like I'm like big fish, small pond. I've done everything I wanted to do here. I've fulfilled every goal possible. I'm doing side quests now. I meet a villager there. I was like, oh, I need more goat's butter in order to make this bread. If only someone can go into the fields and get it for me. I'm just like, okay. Fucking got my backpack. I'm climbing shit. I'm just like, let me get this butter for this lady. Because like I feel like I've done everything here. I'm like looking for shit to do because I'm like, I've done it all. But I want to do something bigger. I want to do something more. So I want to take a step back from focusing so much on other people. And then I want to take a step back from anything that's not aligning to like what I want to do. So like I want to focus on this podcast. The podcast is fun. I don't even care if it's big or anything. It's just fun. I love talking to people. I love communicating with people. I want to have guests on. I was supposed to actually have one of my friends as a guest. I don't think it worked out because they're not here. So I'm just like, he'll show up eventually. But I'm just like, bro, this show gotta happen. I'm gonna next episode. See you later. So I want to have more guests on. I want to have more things. I want to expand. I want to do more. I want to be able to stream a little bit more. Because I'm able to afford streaming and working at the same. Like I can do both. It's fine. And as well too, like I want to take a step back from all the types of different jobs and different opportunities that I've been given. I'm thankful for all of them, but god damn it, I'm done. I have one client who's harassing me every 5 seconds, doing last minute shit. I'm like, why you do this? I have another client that's like ongoing and long term, which is great, but I have to actually finish what they have to do. And then I have fucking my full time position where I'm like, I don't need this because I have the other things. And you're an hour away. You're killing 2 hours of my life every day. My whole lifestyle has changed because of it. I'm like, I don't want any part of this. So I want to stay at this full-time position for like another couple of months and then leave. I'm just going to say I have another opportunity to do that. I want to focus on that. I want to go into voice acting full-time. Well, not full-time, but just like, have more of an impact on that because I've been wanting to do voice acting forever. Like I always have. I've been thankful and honored to do like small time stuff, but I never actually really got to do the whole experience. Want to say hello, Dr. X1444. Hi, hello. I'm talking about goals, talking about dreams, talking about aspirations. And I want to be able to just kind of like live my life. I want to be able to actually travel a bit more, afford to do things. Because the reason why I haven't done a lot, because even when I was working remote and 100% remote and everything, I was staying here because I was putting myself on call for like when I was needed to take care of my niece, watch my niece, do something with my niece. Like my niece really became like the center point of my life and I love her to death. I really do. And she is like basically my daughter. I can't emphasize that enough, but also I've put my life on pause for the last 7 years in order to take care of a child that I never planned. And also technically not mine, technically in this aspect of like, I didn't give birth to her and that's my sister's kid, So I'm really trying to like kind of find myself. It's very generic. I have my eat, pray, love moment. I was telling that to someone before. I'm just like, cause like, I'm in my place where I just want to find myself. I want to go travel. I want to live my life and live the best of world that I can possibly live. Oh, like I became Julia Roberts. Why is she talking British? No idea. But I want to be Julia Roberts. I want to be that girl. And I just want to focus on me. I really do. And that leads me to another aspect, because a lot of people, ever since I mentioned like this separation that I had, this separation from this long-term partnership, this ongoing official entanglement that I've had, is that, oh my god, you need to forget him and you need to get some new dick. You need to fucking go out there. You need to have fun. This single mom storyline is fucking boring. I fucking hate it. I want more. I want more drama. I want more dick in your stories. When are you getting dick down? And I'm like, okay, I appreciate the help, but the last thing I want right now is to be in a relationship. And I've told that before. And I have to emphasize that because a lot of people don't understand. Like, again, I was explaining this, I think, to a couple people. One was to my last partner because after we had a conversation, he was just like, basically, he wants me to be able to like move on because there's a level of guilt there because he feels like just like, he's able to do it, and he wants me to be able to do that as well too, and he doesn't want me to hold out for him, and I'm like, I'm not holding out for you, I just don't want a relationship. I understand what's happening, I understand what happened, I'm accepting of it, I just don't want a relationship. I understand, because like, look, there's two different kind of mindsets when it comes to things. It's like people who you have people who generally are just like, their long-term goals reflect what they want to do. And that's everyone. If you have a long-term goal, your life has to reflect that goal in order to actually have that thing happen. Because if you have a goal and you don't actually work towards it, you ain't doing shit. It ain't going to happen. It's just going to it's going to be a dream. That's the difference between a goal and a dream. A goal is something you're actively working towards. A dream is something that you would like to happen, but you're not doing any of the work to make it happen. That's it. That is the main difference between the words. So a lot of people have the long-term goal of like, they want a partner, they want a relationship, they want a family, they want to have kids, they want to do the whole nine shebang. So they do things to actively work towards that. They want to date. They want to meet somebody. They have to date. They have to go on the apps. They have to go out. They have to connect with different people to see who else is single. And then maybe you'll find love. Like, maybe this bar is the place where I'm going to meet my true love. And then they have an awful hookup. It's sloppy. And they're just like, I guess that wasn't true love, but there's always next time. And it's the same shit. Because they're expecting a fucking love story at a fucking dive bar. I'm like, bitch, you're getting nothing but sloppy dick and a waste of time. I made a video before. I'm just like, what people type of hats say about their dick game. If you are even bothered to mess around with a guy with a backwards baseball cap, I'm just like, you are wasting your time. That is going to be the worst dick you'll ever have in your life. I cannot emphasize that enough. That is terrible. It is sloppy, is not good, it's just bad. It's the bad time. So yeah, a lot of people will try to do things to kind of work towards that goal, but then there's other people who are like me, who are more of a, and honestly, this isn't a bad thing, but like a more selfish mindset. And I'll admit that I'm a selfish person. When outside of a relationship, outside of a partnership, I am selfish. I only care about me. Yes, I still do the most for everyone else. Yes, I care about everyone else's dreams or aspirations. I will help support them, be there for them and whatnot. But in my own free time, my own like space for me, it's only focused on me at that point. All my goals, all my long-term shit is all about me, because I feel like I do everything for everyone else all the time. I'm like, the last thing I want to do is bring another fucking person in this shit. I'm like, we good. We don't need any of that shit. No. So all my long-term goals, like right now, reflect me, like what I want. I want to move. I want to get a more remote position that leads me to do other things. I want to do voice acting. I want to focus more on just like my podcast. I want to focus on more other things. It's I-based, not me-based, not we-based. No, I-based. I don't want a relationship. I can't emphasize that enough. Even when I met my last partner, I didn't want a relationship back then either. After my long-term relationship, which ended 2 years ago, and actually towards the end of it, I'm just like, this is my last relationship because I don't want to be in one. I'm just like, I'm good. I know how much work goes into it. I do the work. When I'm in a relationship, I am one of the, like, I'm not to toot my own horn, but I'm one of the best partners. I'm always supporting you. I always want to make you feel special. I want to make sure you're feeling heard. I want to support you any way possible. I give you your space when needed. I will try to cook for you. I will do anything to show you that you mean something to me, and there's a reason why I chose you over everybody else. That is how I am in a relationship. Outside a relationship, I'm like, there is no one there. There's no one there to do any of that stuff. We gotta do that to me. Like, no. I gotta treat me like that. That's what I'm working on right now. Treating me like that outside of a relationship. So the last thing I'm thinking right now is just like being with somebody. And when I met my last partner, it happened because I saw he followed me on Instagram, and I checked out his page. I saw his highlights. Saw he was really funny. He's super attractive. So I was like, okay. And I saw he did cosplay work. So I'm like, okay, great. I could talk to him about cosplay work. My intention there, intention was just to connect with the person, maybe have some conversation, and maybe at some point see each other naked. That was it. And that was a maybe. I had no intention of falling in love with him, being with him, or wanting a relationship with him. Those were not happening for me. I was like, okay, cool. I just meet this person. He's really cool. We'll talk. We could probably hit each other up every now and then. You know, it would be like a friend, maybe a friends with benefits thing, like distance and everything. So it's never going to be a thing. So I'm like, all right, cool. That'll be cool. Literally the first time I FaceTime with him and we talked, I'm just like, I'm in love with him. And then my goals shifted. My goals went from being I-centric to we-centric. It went from being this like, okay, I want this, this, and this, and this to focus on me, to like, I want a potential future with this person. I want to do things with this person. I want this person in my life long term. I know I want this person in my life for like the longevity of like whatever happens. And then the more we talked, and then eventually end up dating, it's just like, I want to have a family with this man. I want to be with this man. I want to like make this happen. I will do anything to make this work. I cannot lose this person. That's what my goals turned into. My goals shifted. So like when I meet somebody of value and someone I feel worthy of me, then my goals do shift towards them. But until that, and if no one exists, my goal is about me. That's it. My goal is about me. And until I meet the person or meet a person who makes me feel of equal or greater value as that previous person, I ain't gonna have shit. And unfortunately, that man set a high bar. So I'm just like, we good. We gonna focus on me for the next 90 years, and we're gonna see what happens. I'm good. So like a relationship is not the thing in mind. So I know a lot of people would like want me to get dick down and do this whole thing. Look, I'm not a hookup person really. If I hook up, it's like with friends with benefits, maybe like once every month or two when I'm in the mood, because like my sex drive is just like, oh, it's time, and then that's it. And it flatlines for the next 2 months. So if you don't hit me at that spike, it ain't gonna happen. But when I'm in a relationship, it's different, because I'm like, ooh, that is all the time. I don't care where, when, what have you, who's watching. We're doing it. It's happening. I'm on board. It's a problem. It's a problem. I become a different person. That semen demon takes over, and I'm just like, oh no, my nether regions, they're quaking right now. I just look at that man, whoever I'm with at the time. I'm just like, oh, ooh. They just be looking good today. Oh, look at the way they dribbled onto their shirt. Like, oh, look at the way that they're just like scratching their ass, picking their wedgie, going to the bathroom. I'm like, that's my man. That's mine. That's mine. I'm gonna make him feel special. I'm gonna make him feel right. We doing it. It's a problem. So yeah, my goals right now is really just to focus. So first thing I want to do, again, is like stay at this job for as long as possible. Not as long as possible, a couple of months, and then I'm out. I'm going to go back to doing freelance or remote full time. That suits more my interests. Second thing I want to do is I want to move. I've been kind of talking about like where I want to go, and I don't want to be here. This shit ain't it. Like Jersey, said that before. I ain't living in Jersey. You think I want to live in Jersey? New Jersey? I don't even want to live in the city. Look, I've done the city my entire life. I'm done with it. We're done. It's over. Like New York's cute. New York's cute for a bit. Now, it's nice just like because like, oh, it's the big city. There's so much to do. You don't have to leave anywhere. Oh, there's people who's just like me, and we can talk, and we can go to Central Park, and we can just have a grand old time together. And that's fine. That's great. Every now and then, every day of that, and your scenery is just building. Your scenery is just building, and that's it. No, that's why that's one of the reasons why I live where I live now. Because okay, yes, I moved here basically for a guy, but also it's close to the city where I can visit it. But it's also close to the mountains where I can actually hike and do things, because I love being in the mountains. And it's also close to my family, the people I say hey to all the time. Like, hey, how you doing? What's up? I pick up my niece, be like, baby, and that's I'm good. It's a mixture of everything, so it works. But like, I can't do that shit all the time. I'm also just tired of the environment. I'm tired of the scenery. I'm tired of the people. Not saying like I love a lot of people here. I love a lot of friends here, but also I'm just like, it's just every morning's just the same. So the morning that we came to this poor provincial town. Good morning, Belle. Hello, monsieur. Where are you off to? The dick shop. I just got this wonderful new dick with 3 speeds, a vibrator. That's nice. Marie, the baguettes. Like, I'm tired of living this poor provincial life. I can't do it anymore. So, New York just isn't really it for me, and I kind of feel that way. I've been feeling that way for the last like a couple of years. And honestly, if my niece wasn't here, I would have not moved. I mean, my sister actually plans on moving eventually as well too. I think she's going south. I want to go either to my dream is to live be bicontinental and live on fucking in Portugal in Lisbon, I want to live my life like a single divorced woman. I want to just go there with my giant sun hats, my sunglasses, and just my open button shirts, being just like, oh yes, I moved here a couple years ago to escape the hardships of my life. My husband left me, but he also left me with his millions. Now I just have to choose between Javier and Jose, and then which one gets to carry me to the Riviera. Would you like to ride my boat with us? Oh yes, we go boating every Sunday. It's just so nice and fun to really get out there and have the sun kiss my lips. Oh, and feel the breeze on me. Oh, it just feels so good. You must join us for wine. You must. Like, I want to live that life. I want to be that single bitch. I want to fucking live my life like I'm on the White Lotus. That's the dream. But I know that's probably something I'm going to have later on in life. I can't have right now. I do want to have it right now, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on that. But, I see myself living in either, see myself living on the West Coast. Not LA. Never LA. Absolutely not. I can't not. No. No. Look, New York gays are one thing. I love New York gays, but I'm just like, but we have a lot of differences. That's fine. LA gays, foreign to me. We are not the same. We are not. No. I know too much drama, too much. I'm not doing that. So I'm trying to, I would go to San Diego. San Diego, probably more of my speed. I really love it there. Really nice there. Austin, Texas is nice, but I don't like Texas. I also don't really like, Florida. I would like to live in Florida if it wasn't Florida. Florida would be nice if it wasn't Florida. That's the problem. So I'm like, a lot of places in the U.S. I just aren't it. I personally want to leave the U.S. Again, I'd live in Portugal. I'd live in Europe. I'd live in Germany. I'd live in a lot of other countries that are not the United States. I will openly say that. I do not care. Just because I think I've done too much. I've fulfilled too much. And there's really nothing that this country can provide for me specifically that other countries can't. There's nothing that really is holding me exclusively to living in America. So that's something I kind of see myself for. And that's also why anytime I've been in a relationship, and it has been long distance or distance have been involved, I'm always the one who's just the end goal always becomes, I will move with you. You're not moving here because I'm not staying. When I was dating Kevin, my whole thing was just okay, he lives in Massachusetts, and that Boston area. I'll move there. It's fine. This last person I was dating lives in DR. I'm just yo, that's fine. I could touch up on some Spanish. Buenos dias. Como estes? I'm fluent. I got this. When I went down there, I'm just ole, como estes? And they're just after they shanked me, it's just I took that as a cultural greeting. So obviously I did something right. They took my wallet as well too. I miss it every day. Think about it. Huh. But they probably needed it more than I did. Right? Why else would they take it if they didn't need it? Right? I'm joking. Imagine. Though that is an area where it's a pretty hot area. People do get robbed. But yeah, I was just okay, I'll move in with you. I'll move in there. And honestly, I always say, and one of the most upsetting things about the breakup is just it could have worked, but it's not a me thing. It's always a us thing in a relationship. So us has to agree to that, but whatever. But yeah, I'm going to read this comment from Morena. Boundaries with non-romantic people are manageable and most times easy. Boundaries with romantic partners, on the other hand, still figuring out how to not completely lose myself for somebody else. That is very true because, again, like I said, how goals shift when it comes to romantic partners. Mine do, in the aspect of just my long-term goals become more about keeping this person in my life and being with this person. But you also cannot lose your own personal goals and things for yourself and being able to work on your own shit, because that's also very important, because you only get you at the end of the day. You die with you live with you see you the most out of everyone in the world. You got to take care of yourself especially if you're in a partnership or a relationship or what have you. I'm the opposite though. Boundary setting with romantic partners are usually the easiest for me. Just because like there's that level of trust and understanding, and also a bit of, I don't want to say narcissism when it comes to my romantic partners, but also kind of like a very high sense of self-worth and self-image, basically. So like when I look for a partner, I always say this because it's true. I look for a partner who has the best traits that I love about myself, but also bring out and inspire me to do more with the traits that I have. And, they inspire me to like, push to be better, or a better version of myself, and they do that without trying. They just do that by being them. And I've met some incredible partners because of that. I still love a lot of people because of it. Like they are incredible people. I wouldn't change anything in the world, with them at all. But like, it's also a level of, with that being said, it's a level of just kind of like, self-image, and also just basically looking for a, maybe not physically, but like personality wise, like some sort of like mirrored aspect of yourself. So that's why I kind of like usually like the people I like do love or care about and be with and really like connect with are just like, they feel like extensions of myself. So that's why I gain like a fear like of losing that person, because like it does feel like I'm losing a part of myself, because when I found them, they reminded me of the best parts of me. So like losing them also felt like I'm losing the best part of me as well too. So it's just like, it's always just been like a double-edged sword. And that's what I was telling my last partner as well too. Like, when we split and everything, and why it was so hard for me and everything, it was just because it felt like I was losing part of myself, because that person became a part of me. Not like all of me, because I know me is me. Andrew loves me. But like, I told him, I'm just like, if I didn't love you, if I didn't love myself, I wouldn't love you. Because again, you remind me of the best parts of me, and you reflect the best parts of me, and you bring out the best parts of me, and you are something I know I deserve. And like, you are something that's worthy of me. So like, if I didn't love me, I wouldn't love you. So that made it a lot easier. So it's always been easier to establish boundaries with them. With other people, with like friends, family, because like it's weird. Like there's not that level of like loss, just like that fear of like losing them or anything. Like if we don't talk, or like we disconnect, or like what happens, it's like it hurts, but it's like you can move past it easier. Because like, again, they're not like, they don't feel like extensions of me. It's just like they're their own person. I understand that, but it's just like, we fizzle out, life changes, what have you. But like it's a little harder to set boundaries sometimes with them, because I just want to make sure they feel okay, and they make sure they feel good. I want to make sure they're like happy and fulfilled and everything. And then I guess when it comes to the end of relationships, I'm more selfish, where I'm just like, I just want this for me. I want you for me. I want to make this work for me. Like it's very selfish. And I think that's where I think it just makes it easier for like boundaries. So like it's like I fully trust, and like I'm totally like on board with that person. We already drive, and it's just like it feels like an extension of me. So like it's like the boundaries are pretty loose, and they don't really like do anything to kind of like get on my bad side, or I do anything to get on their bad side. It's easier. But like when you're like a friend or a family member, I'm just like, I mean, I guess I'll do it. Yeah, I could do that too. Sure, I'll do that. Why not? And I need to wind back on that shit, because I can't fucking do it anymore. It just I can't. I've done too much. I've done too much. I really have. So yeah, goal setting has really just helped me in general with my depression. And like I've said, my depression doesn't really affect me as much as it used to. Because again, when I was first going through it, I would think it was like 12. I would just like lay in bed, or just not want to exist, and just not be able to move, not be able to eat, not be able to do anything. I was like a vegetable, basically. I was in a vegetative state. I was in comatose. I was just like paralyzed. I did not want anything. And that followed me out throughout my teen years. But like setting goals and giving myself a reason to do things really has helped. Working out has really helped as well too, because I'm constantly setting goals. I want to change how my body looks. I have more aspirations. I have more goal weights I want to hit. Like there's things I want to do. So it gives me like reasons to go to the gym, reasons to do what I do. And it makes me feel good. It feels amazing. And I've been like following throughout my life as well too. But I know, even though I am generally right now in my single life, I am in more of a selfish mindset. I have to also be able to kind of treat myself the way I feel like I deserve to be treated. The way I want someone else to treat me, I have to treat myself that way. So that's a big goal I'm working on as well too. And I was at a good point with that before I started this position, and I made myself way too busy for human understanding, is because like I was taking myself, like I was just like, okay, one day a week we're gonna do a date night. We're gonna do a movie, a matinee and a movie, and then we'll do a show. And we went to Broadway shows. We were doing good. We were like, okay, we went to Broadway shows. I was eating out in my favorite restaurants because some people can't eat out alone. I love doing shit by myself. I don't know about y'all. Some people are just like, oh, it's just weird because like it's nice to go out and do something like, oh, I wish I had someone to do this with, or I can do something with someone else. And I'm just like, why can't you do it by yourself? That's what I never got. I'm like, why can't you just do it? Like maybe because I've been so used to being like since like childhood, I've been isolated, or I've been self-involved, and I focused a lot on me and just did shit on my own from like birth. I've been so used to like doing shit on my own. I'm like, y'all can't go to eat food by yourself. Y'all can't go to a movie by yourself. Why? You gonna think someone's talking about you during a damn movie? It's dark. It's a theater. They don't even care you exist. You are fine. You can go to a movie by yourself. A restaurant, ain't nobody looking at you. You just like, oh no, all these couples are here and everyone's here together and I'm just alone. Who gives a fuck? You're 32. No one gives a flying fuck about what you're doing. No. And once you realize no one gives a shit about anything you do, just do whatever the fuck you want. And so eating alone, doing things alone, being by yourself, going somewhere by yourself, it is so refreshing because you don't have to worry about another person. You don't have to worry about the fulfilling another person's goals, needs, what have you. You don't have to worry about just like meeting up with a person, the timing of the person, just like connecting with that person, making sure that other person's okay, making sure that other person's feeling entertained. You don't have to fucking worry about another person, and it feels so good to just do something by yourself. It is the best feeling in the world. And that's why I enjoy in my free time when I'm not like invited to a friend thing, or we're doing client work, or I'm not doing something for someone else, when I have time to just sit and be me and reflect on myself. And that's the opportunity. Like, again, if my long-term goals was to find a partner, do something with a partner, or like have a partner in the future, I'd be like doing those steps. I'd be going out to find someone. I'd be going on dates to find a potential suitor. I'd be like on dating apps, like kind of like match with another person or talk to another person. But that's not my long-term goal. So when I'm alone, when I have time to focus on me, I'm going to the fucking movies. I'm eating at restaurants. I'm doing shit that I want to do because I fucking deserve it. And I don't want to do anything with anyone else. I don't want to think about anyone else. I don't want to do shit with anyone else. I don't care about anyone else. I care about me. And it's the best feeling ever. So I'm just like, to the people who are just like, hey, I can't do shit alone, or like, oh, I only want a relationship. I'm like, that could not be me. I'm sorry. It cannot. Like, again, if I ever meet somebody who's just like, they have it all, they are somebody I know I cannot lose. There are somebody I know that's like, they fulfill parts of me that I didn't even know I could be fulfilled, or that I wanted to have fulfilled. Then obviously I'm like, yes, put it all on black. I'm betting on this person. I'm keeping this person in my life. If you do not make me feel that way, I'm not wasting my time. Like, cause like people just cause like some people are intimidated by the fact, like again, I'm very close to my like my last partners, my exes. I will openly admit I still love them, I still care for them, I will do anything for them because like I love them. I will never not love them. So they will always be in something important to me. And again, they're always gonna be a part of myself, So I do love them to an extent that's just like, closer than most friendships, closer than anything else. Like they mean something so much more to me. Some people are intimidated by that. And if you are, if that makes you feel uncomfortable, then I'm not the right person for you. Carry on. But also the fact that they feel like they have to compete with that. Just like, okay, He felt this strongly for his last partner. I have to be better than his last partner. I have to try to compete with that. And I don't know how I'm going to do that. That's a wrong way to look at it because you're not competing with them. You're not competing with my partners. You're competing with me. Because I love me and I love hanging out with me. I love doing things by myself. I love some of my free time with myself. I love doing things that revolve around me. And the reason why I've been sort of like I've had depression and what have you is because I have not been able to have that time for me or to do things with me or treat me the way I need to be treated or want to be treated. So that's why I've been like having like, you know, my depression has been like acting up for the last couple of months because I've been so busy. I have not been able to treat me right. So with that being said, like you're not competing with them, you're competing with me. Because like if in my free time you're not somebody I want to text, I want to call, I'm not thinking about, then you know it's just not going to work because I'm going to choose me. If I choose me over you 90% of the time, then it's just not going to work. So you have to compete with me. You have to make me feel worthy. You have to make me want to be with you more than I want to be with me. That's just because it's not. I'm not settling for anything else. I'm sorry. And I said that alone. Like some people are just like, you know, you've been very, you know, you're like very like, you're very stubborn. You're very hard headed when it comes to love and relationships. You should be more flexible. You should, because they are, again, people who have the long term goal of like being with somebody. So like they are willing to like do the level of compromise and just like trying to figure out things or just like, you know, maybe just kind of like give away some of their needs and wants to be fulfillable to another person and have another person in their life. That's great. And that's something you should do if you want to be with a partner. If you want to be with a potential suitor, you have to compromise a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot. You have to kind of like make yourself more presentable to them, but also not lose yourself. You have to kind of like balance between the two. You really have to do like what works for them and also what works for you and see if that actually has a connection. That makes sense. But Andrew does not want that. My long-term goals do not reflect that. So I'm not going to fucking lose shit. I don't care. And if I don't find exactly what I want at the end of the day, at the end of my life, if I'm on my deathbed and I didn't meet any person who fulfills me the way my last person does, or like feels of greater or stronger value, then I'm fine. I'm good because I have connections with other people. I have connection with my friends, connection with my family, connections all around. I don't fucking need shit from another person. If I spent the rest of my life meeting people but end up choosing me over them because I haven't met somebody who makes me want to choose them over me, then no one was worth of my time. And it would not be worth the compromise because there's just some people are just like, oh, but you're missing out on a potential future with someone. Oh, you could be with somebody who may really fulfills you. I'm like, bitch, I'm fulfilled. I'm good. I'm good. The reason why I fell in love with the people I fell in love with is because they are unique. They are special. They're opportunities that I'm just like, they make me want to choose them over me most of the time. You know, I don't lose myself because of it, but I will choose spending time with them and being with them and having them in my life than me being alone. But if I choose me being alone over being with you, then it's just not, there's nothing there. It's not worth it. I'm sorry for wasting your time. I don't want to waste mine as well too. This is where it ends. um but yeah, so I just always want to talk about that because I'm just like, the amount of times I've had to explain to people who have like more like relationship oriented long-term goals, they just don't really understand someone who doesn't. I'm like, look, out of a relationship, I'm selfish. And in a relationship, I'm not. I'm all about you. I'm all about my partner. I'm all about them. But like, and again, until I meet the person who just makes me feel that way, I'm like, no. That's what I explained to my last partner as well too. Like he was just like, making it okay, seeing if it's okay and seeing it's like, I want you to move on, I want you to be like happy. And I'm just like, I am. I'm happy with me. But the real problem is I haven't been able to like treat me the way I wanted to be treated. Andrew needs that. Everyone needs that. I feel like everyone needs to treat themselves the way they feel they deserve to be treated, And it's very important. Like if you're not treating yourself the way you feel like you deserve to be treated or the way you want to be treated by another person, then how do you expect to find somebody who's going to treat you that way or treat you that like with that sense of worth or a sense of worthiness? If you don't try to work towards that for yourself and just try to treat you that way, you're not really going to find somebody who is going to be able to treat you that way, because like you're not going to see that person. You're not going to notice that person. That person's not going to come to your life, you know? Again, like I said at the beginning, aspect of like law of attraction and everything, you have to be able to put out what you want back. And that includes with how you treat yourself. That's very important. And I made some videos. I remember like Sonic TikTok videos about like toxic relationships and how like, yeah, sure, maybe the other person, maybe you weren't toxic to the other person, but how did you treat yourself? And that's very true, because like sometimes if you feel like a relationship is toxic, or you feel like a relationship is like not working for you, or just like, you know, you look back at it and you just see the person like really wasn't great towards you in a relationship, you also have to think about, how did you treat yourself during the relationship? Did you also treat yourself with that level of disrespect? Did you not see the worthiness of yourself while you were in that relationship? Did that relationship, that toxicity of the relationship, bring you down to the point where just like you were questioning yourself and you were saying that maybe you weren't enough and you were not unworthy, or maybe you deserve to be treated this way? Because sometimes that does happen. That does happen a lot. And that, especially if you're a victim of abuse, a victim of a toxic circumstance, you will sometimes just like see all your flaws and see it as, or anything that the person points out, and just sees that as like, you're the issue, or you're because of this, or you're the issues and you're the reason why all this is happening to you. Which you shouldn't feel. You should never feel that way. And at the same time, there's also relationships where like sometimes, you know, you have to look at your faults, because you know you maybe you had a couple, maybe you had a couple. That's why, like, you know, when things end for me, or like to gain clarity, or like when something's really bothering me, I have to step outside myself, where I have to look at it from like another perspective, not that other person's perspective per se, but like a third perspective. I have to be able to be like, this is me, this is him. Let's see what happened. I examine it from afar, and just like I'm able to kind of like interpret a little better. That's why, like, you know, not everyone, and I've said this before, like everyone has like, there's three sides of the story: yours, mine, the truth. And a lot of people try to believe like, you know, their own perspective, because like, you know, they believe them, but not everyone remembers everything exactly the way it happened, you know, not all the time. But if you're someone who's able to step outside of yourself and see the wide aspect of everything, you kind of remember a little bit better, and you're able to like kind of interpret situations a little bit better. And that's what I've been able to do. So like, I'm not saying I'm like 100% I know the truth about every situation ever, or any like situation I've ever been a part of, because obviously there's gonna be a little biasy, because like I have my own feelings. But if you're able to put yourself in another perspective, where you separate your feelings from the actuality of the events that what happened, it does help. And that's why I have been able to recall memories, or recall situations or circumstances a little bit better than somebody who just like, you know, this is how I was feeling, and this is why you made me feel this way, and how fucking dare you? You know. But yeah, so it's funny. So I want to talk about like how this episode originally was gonna go, because again, this was a last minute topic. Because the original aspect of this episode was going to be a guest a guest episode, but my guest he did not get back to me. So I'm like, he's a friend of mine, so he's fine. Like no issue there. I'm hoping he's okay. I'm hoping he's all right. I am hoping he set his situation right. But yeah, so I really had to think of this episode last minute, so it was just like a what should I talk about? And I'm just like, okay, let me just talk about like something I'm going through right now, because like I think the episodes kind of work better when I do that, you know, because I'm so passionate about it. And I do see people like myself, and I know I'm not alone in the situation, where like, you know, they feel like they're stuck. They feel like they haven't really done anything to fulfill their goals, or like they don't really have goals set, or they're just kind of floating. But for that, I say it's very important to have goals. Very important to like have a target you're trying to hit and trying to work towards that, you know, and then applying it. You know, it's like, you know what you have, you know what you want to do. How are you going to make the steps to go there? How are you going to make the steps to do that thing? And like, I know the steps I have to do to get to what I want to be, or where I want to be. I just have to actually make the time to do so. And that's really what I want to do. So before I do anything, I'm going to plan everything out. Like, cause I'm very much like, I'm not that whimsical anymore as I used to be as a kid, or that spontaneous. I plan shit out. I'm like, I'm making big decisions, big financial decisions. We are planning all this shit out. We are writing formulas. We are writing charts, bitch. Absolutely not. I'm not just going with the whims. Like I know I want to move, and I know I want to go somewhere else, and I know I want to have a different source of income. So I have to collect what I can now, finish up these projects and client bases that I have right now. Once those are finished up and once everything's set, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to go forward. I'm ready to do other things because that's what I want. That's what I need. And then making the appropriate steps to do so. And if you do feel like you're in an environment that's like has you stuck as well too, think of ways that you can kind of get unstuck or like give yourself a sense of purpose. Because like once you have a sense of purpose and a sense of meaning, things become so much easier. Where I am right now, my only sense of purpose really has been taking care of my niece. She's getting older. She's being able to take care of herself. I mean, she's only 7. She's not like an adult, but like, but she's at a point right now where she's able to like form her own friendship. She's able to form her own relationship. She's able to do things on her own. She needs me a little bit less. And that's giving me the opportunity to kind of like see what else is out there so I can start my life again. Because again, I put my life on hold for like 8 years for her. And I've been there for my mom, my sister, my have you. And again, I always say I love my family, but it's just like those kids cannot do a damn thing by themselves. I love them to death, but it's just like, ooh, just like, why am I the parent? why am I helping everybody? What's happening? And sometimes that happens, but again, once your life becomes only about other people and not yourself, and you don't make time for yourself, you can lose yourself. And that's how I felt for the last couple of months. Like I felt like I've been losing myself, and the reason why like the relationship, my relationship ending was like a reminder of that, was that he it just kind of like sucked seeing, like, I'm fine with it now. Like, it's fine. The issue resolved, but like that's why I'm not really like going too much into our previous relationship. Like I'm good, but it was just that it sucked that I was like, I didn't feel like I was treating myself the way I deserved, or I was at the place where I felt like I was, where I deserve in life. And then I saw somebody else living the future I wanted with the man I was in love with. So that was really like a triggering point for me. That's why everything hit as harder as it did. But since I gained some clarity, I know the situation. And again, I'm fine with him. I'm fine with his partner. And again, I said, open to a throuple. Open to a throuple. We can make it work. We can make it work. I'm telling you. Look. If I had no problem, and that's another thing I noticed too. I'm just like, because like when he told me he was like, potentially polyamorous, I was just like, if I had no problem with him having a boyfriend while we were dating, like this never happened because we broke up like during the end of it. But I was just like, if I had no problem with you having a boyfriend while we were dating, then why would I have a problem with you having a boyfriend now that we're not dating? The only issue is my ego. Like, I'm just upset that you're not with me and that I'm no longer your priority. But like, once I figured that out, I'm just like, okay, we're good. And that's why I'm like, okay, I'm actually okay with the relationship now. I'm just like, all right, so I'm just being egotistical. Got you. That's why I'm upset. My ego. Okay, now I'm fine with that. I'm good. I just miss the person. I miss talking to them. But that's it. Oh, hello, Flash Kick Chris. I gotta get my glasses. Fit in where you get in. You know me. You know me. Look, I say that, that's one of the things I realized, because like I'm not sure if you like seen previous episodes, but like since my last breakup, and I thought about like my potential relationships going forward, and I was just like, because like because after I gained clarity and I was okay with him being in a relationship and okay with him moving on, I did realize I'm just like, I still want this person in my life. I still love this person. He still loves me. I'm just like, I mean, he could just date both of us. Why didn't you ever do that? Like, just date both. Have the best of both worlds. Like, he can date him and I can date someone else as well too. It's good. We could be a polycule. And I realized how much I'm okay with that situation. And I kind of thought back and I'm just like, I think I've always been had a non-monogamous standpoint, and it kind of makes a lot of sense now, looking back at just like how I love and how I interpret love and how I show love. I'm like, it's not the first time I've been okay with like loving multiple people. I'm like, so I think going forward, I'm pretty sure a non-monogamous relationship is like where I'm going. I'm just like, okay. Again, it's gonna be a while till I'm actually in a relationship again or feel anything for anyone. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure That's where things are going. I'm like, okay, cool. So if I ever have a potential relationship in the future, it has to be at a place where we both feel secure enough where we can expand the relationship, or there's at least the option to expand the relationship in some way, shape, or form, even if we're each other's primary. That was a big stepping stone for me to kind of accept with myself. I'm just like, oh my god, this makes so much sense. One of us, one of us, one of us. I didn't plan on this, okay? I thought, and I said this before, I was always going to be a one dick for life girl. I want to find someone that I could be with, that one person for the rest of my life, and that's it. And then it changed. Then it became about like, you know what? An open relationship makes sense. I can have sex with other people. It doesn't just have to be us. That is fine. And then after my last relationship and realizing that, you know, I would have been okay with him dating someone else, because again, it was long distance, him dating someone else while we were dating, since we still have that love and trust and care for each other. I was just like, okay, so I'm just open to like anything. I'm just like, I'm open to an open relationship. I'm open to being part of a polycule or a triad. Cool. I've learned a lot about me, and I made a TikTok about this, and I made a joke about it. I'm just like, you know what the common denominator of this is? I'm a furry. I'm just like, all right, this makes sense. Everything adds up now. It's like, I don't want stereotypes to be true, but like stereotypes sometimes be accurate. It's just, okay, all right. This is my life now. I'm just a polyamorous queer furry who's open to who's basically fluid in every single regard. Jesus Christ. Fun stuff, fun life. Anyway, thank you so much for the sub, Flash Kick Chris. Now, this is gonna be the end of the this is going to be the end of the episode. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being here. But however, I do have an announcement. I may be on later, either today or during the week, for the guest episode, because we did plan the guest episode. We just did not go through with it today due to communication mistakes on my part. I will take full fault. That's on me, but we will have the that episode. That episode will be uploaded immediately to YouTube as well too. Once it's out, once we finish recording here, I'll download it, and that goes straight to YouTube. So it will be available the next day for everyone. This episode will be exclusive on Patreon up until like the week of my next episode. So yeah, look for notifications. If you haven't, like, what do you click? The bell notification or some shit here. I don't know. Click that damn bell. Just like be aware, just like, you know, when the next episode happens. I'm not sure exactly when it is. There will be an announcement either on my TikTok, on Twitter or Instagram of when my next episode is, because that will be the guest episode, hopefully. So look forward to that. It will be at a weird time. I know it's going to be weird. It's going to be a weird time. Anyway, guys, again, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Crazy Cookie, where were you? You show up at the very end? Why? I missed you. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. I will see you guys later. Stay awesome. Look forward to my next episode.